Heyo everybody, Haku here with the super late HaQ&A 59. So yeah, let's talk about stuff from the comments and just general whatever. I really hope my hair doesn't fall in my face a bunch, because I did just get out of the shower kind of recently, but I really also do not feel like wearing a hat. So yeah, pretty much every time I tried to record this, there was a bunch of crap going on and I couldn't record it. So yeah, I am incredibly busy with many things right now, and man, it is just hell. But at least YouTube can distract me. I can have fun with it and all. But this video, it takes a good long while to edit, render, upload, and I didn't get to record this until Friday, so it's not being up until at least sometime Saturday. So sorry it's so late, guys. But yeah, either way. Let's talk about some stuff. We're heading into the first week of the month next week. At least I think so. Or no, it's the week after next, I think. Next week, though, I'm going to be busy with making sure we finish up the, by Thursday, we'll be finishing up the read-through of Boku no Hero Academia, so that then we can be caught up and I can cover the new chapter coming out on Thursday. And so yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a heavier video week because of that. And then the week after that is the first week of the month, so I'm going to be having, well, technically the first week of the month that has a Wednesday, so I'll be having the 2 extra Walking Dead videos. And it is my long roundabout way of saying this whole, I feel so bad because I'm always like, oh yeah, we're making that Manmusu waifu video, and then it's like, oh wait, no, I'm way too busy. And I'm going to be working on it still, but I mean, I'm just going to be so busy for the next 2 weeks that I don't see it happening. Also, nobody said if they really still even want that Top Anime Waifu 2016 video or not. Thanks a lot, guys, but no, seriously. If you want it, yeah, if you don't want it, just say something too, and I'll decide when I get to it if I'm actually going to do it or not, if people want it or not. But this season, we are watching a lot of anime, so I've been trying to catch up to everything I want to watch this season, so that I can just be done and have it all watched by the end of the season. But so far, of course, there's all the stuff we're covering on the channel. Boku no Hero Academia is great. Attack on Titan, it is what it is. It's kind of average-ish. Then there's Clockwork Planet, again, is kind of average-ish. It's the show, it's there. We've got One Piece is normal, One Piece is One Piece. Let's see, what else are we watching? Oh yeah, I'm really liking Frame Arms Girl. I like the new version 2 opening they did in the most recent episode, and where they swapped out the CG for actual good, legit animation. Sorry, I'm just not a big fan of CG. But it makes me just think, man, why couldn't it have been like this through the whole show's run? Why are you starting this episode 8? And then, let's see, there were some other good things that I've been talking about. Shingeki no Bahamut Virgin Soul, every episode is like movie quality, it is so damn good. It's fighting with Boku no Hero Academia for anime of the season. I don't know which one I prefer. It's like, I don't know, there are different things I like about each, but I don't know which I'd say I prefer, actually. Anything else we're watching? Oh, just started Akashic Records, and it's good. I like it. I really enjoy it. I like the way they went for more of the action-y vibe than just sticking at school the whole time. I think that was a good call. I think that's a much more exciting show to watch. And it's actually really good. I've come to enjoy it. Not as good, though, as Recreators. Recreators is great as well. And thanks, I think, to Sean Gamble is the one that recommended that. It is so good. I freaking love it. And that's it. And then next up, once I catch up to Akashic Records, man, that's tongue twister. I'm going to be watching Grimoire of Zero. I don't know the actual Japanese name. Zero Bla Kara Hajimeru no Sho, something like that. I don't know if that was right in any way. And then after that, there were 2 more that got votes that I'll watch after that, which were Alice to Zoroku, and I've heard somebody call it the King's Avatar, the one with the Chinese name. Not even memeing, not even joking. It's like not in Japanese. It's some sort of, I believe it's Chinese name, like Kwai-Gyang Show or something like that. I don't know why I'm ending every show name with show. Then After those two, there were 6 that didn't get any votes in the voting, and I'll watch those at some point. Which ones were they? There was Hinako Note, at least I think that's the title of it I wanted to watch. I want to watch Sakura Quest, and I think that's actually going to be a 24 episode, so that'll carry on into next season. I want to watch ID Zero at some point, I think. Suka. I really, really want to watch Suka. Kind of disappointed it didn't get any votes, but I'll watch the ones with votes first. And then there were 2 more I wanted to watch that I'm not even thinking of right now. Sin Nanatsu no Taizai, and I know, I have heard that it's an ecchi series, which, believe it or not, is something I don't always watch that often, but, yeah, this is going to be a journey. It's going to be quite the journey through boobies and all. Then there was one more, but I seem to be forgetting it. Something else that didn't get votes that I still wanted to watch. Don't remember at all. Nope. Just try my best to think here before I move on and talk about something else. What on earth is it? It's gonna bother me now. It's gonna bother me if I don't remember it. I'm trying to think of what kind of show it was even. What kind of show was I even interested in watching? Yep, I don't remember. Don't remember what the last one was. Oh well, moving along. I guess I'll be watching one more that I forgot. No, it's not Renai Boken or Kiss Note or whatever, because no thank you, that does not appeal to me very much, it would seem. I don't know, what are some other ones people have been talking about this season that I didn't feel like watching? Who cares? Moving along. So we got, I guess the discussion of anime this season will be the bonus for this week. But we got a couple things for just general comments to talk about. One was Andrew Zapita catching me in one video said, shit, 350, that moment where you admit you watch hentai. And I was like, what do you think I am? I'm a civilized man. I read hentai. They said, I see, so you're a man of culture as well. But yeah, seriously, I feel like, I don't know, I'm not super I don't see the reason not to be open with stuff like that, because everybody watches or reads or whatever, or looks at something. I think it'd be weirder to try to deny that fact, because, I feel like I've never honestly met a person that doesn't look at or read or watch something at some time. But yeah, either way, also, Andrew Zapita said, and Deshaun Gamble both, what a time to wake up. Nothing like Haku's live reads in the morning. So yeah, thank you guys so much. It's always good to hear of people excited to watch my videos and all of that. And also, again, thanks to Sean for the Recreators recommendation, because I friggin' love it. They said Meteora is their waifu. I personally have been struggling. I think for me, at first my waifu, I was struggling. I was like, Mamika's great, Alistaria's great, Meteora's great. I don't like Alistaria as much now. Meteora, again, is good, but not the best. Marine I still like. Marine's still up there, but I'd say it's a real struggle right now between Mamika, Magical Girl for life, Magukas, and it's between Mamika and Magane. I really like Magane. She's evil, but I love just the wacky facial expressions and everything. Then Deshaun Gamble also said, when I met Mamika for the first time, I imagined how the author of Magical Girl Raising Project would react if he met his characters in real life. Snow White would hate him for all the pain he created for her. And Andrew Zapita, of course, said, yeah, they'd want him dead. Yeah, but I feel like, too, they would learn that being Maguka is always suffering. Like, no matter what universe, it is almost always suffering. All the different Magical Girl series have, at least since Madoka Magica, and it was so popular, all these other Magical Girl series, it is dark themes are intrinsically linked with them now. Then a question from Andrew Zapita said, would you want to become a Maguka, or Magical Girl? And even though it's suffering, even though I should know better, I would not be able to resist the call to Maguka. So, yeah, I would become a Magical Girl, even though I know it would be suffering. And they said, it depends on what kind of Maguka. If it's like Madoka Magica ones, then I wouldn't accept, but the ones for Magical Girl Raising Project still have a chance of not suffering for eternity. And while that may be true, it wouldn't even work in the Madoka Magica universe anyway, because I'm pretty sure only young girls are allowed to be magical girls. So I wouldn't be offered a contract anyway by Cube. Yeah, and I do believe that was it. That was it for general comments, and I'll be talking about Boku no Hero Academia next. Alright, time for the Boku no Hero Academia comments, and first up is Anime Watcher, who said, wasn't expecting Bones to expand on the fights, and here I thought Studio Bones was on a slow decline. Can't wait for next week, which is the only episode I'll watch until the show completes its run this year. I think the production quality for Boku no Hero Academia is damned great. It's definitely within the top 3 up there, production quality with Recreators and, I don't know, Little Witch Academia does its own thing, Virgin Soul. Virgin Soul, every episode is like movie quality, the production quality is insane. Recreators isn't quite as good story-wise as Boku no Hero. It's still very, very good, but it's not quite up there with Virgin Soul or Boku no Hero Academia. But it's still pretty good. But Boku no Hero Academia is definitely solidly up there with production quality. The music is so good. There's a lot of great OST work, and the animation is... when it comes to non-computer stuff, and it's just the... solid 2D animation that they're using, I think that the strongest 2D work has been Boku no Hero Academia, just because while the other two use 2D stuff, there's a lot of stuff that you can barely tell is computer animated, but it is computer, which is the good kind. Like, there's bad CG and good CG. Good CG is like Recreators, where when they use it you pretty much can't even tell, or where you can kind of tell here and there, but you nearly can't even tell with Virgin Soul. But then you see some CG from Attack on Titan, and as much as I like Attack on Titan, the CG, and they don't use it very often, but when they do use it, it is noticeable. It's not very good. It definitely stands out. So yeah, it all depends. People can do CG good, I just don't prefer it. But from what I've seen Bones, I don't remember having seen any of it from Bones. I think all of Boku no Hero Academia has been classic animation that's looked very good. Maybe not totally classic, I'm sure they use software for some stuff, but you know what I mean, it's the basic 2D stuff. And I get what you mean too about waiting for it to end, because sometimes I feel like before doing YouTube, I never liked watching stuff week to week. I always preferred to wait until it ended and then marathon it all at once. But YouTube kind of changed me. Like, even when I first started YouTube, the first few months, maybe even the first few seasons, it's like I still preferred marathoning, but I enjoyed watching week to week, and now it's got to the point where I think I like watching week to week more, because I get to discuss it here, I get to discuss it on Twitter, Reddit, wherever else. It's because, like, I've liked it more now that I have the platform of YouTube, so I can discuss it week to week. And yeah, any of those anime I brought up earlier, I forgot to say, if you want to comment and talk about any of them, then hell yeah, I'll do that. Let's talk about them. Deshaun Gamble next up said, I honestly thought that the anime episode this week would end with the Deku versus Todoroki fight. I didn't read the manga, but the Bakugo versus Uraraka fight seems like it's going to be epic. Even when watching the preview, it's going to be hype. As for this episode, it was really good, a collection of fights, giving the other characters time to shine. It was entertaining to watch. I love this episode for all the reasons you named, of course. It was so, so good. Also, next episode, which will be, well, I guess the day that I post this video, I'm not sure if we're going to get the second round fight or not. I doubt we are, though. I feel like they're either going to do what I would like, just a full episode, Bakugo and Uraraka fight. If they could make that into a full episode, I would not be disappointed. But what I think they'll do is they will have that fight, and they'll also get in some of the build-up and setup for the Todoroki Izuku fight. And then we'll end the episode where we've ended like the past 2-3 episodes with the two of them walking out to the arena. They say, okay, start, episode ends. Just because that's a really solid way to pace things. If you were writing these episodes, that's the way I would pace it. Because then you ended on that kind of pseudo cliffhanger, people are going to come back to watch next week. They're going to want to know what happened in that fight that just started. But also it's a good place to end off because you did get in all of the Uraraka Bakugo fight, or the fights before that in the case of the past episodes. So yeah, I think that that's just solid writing, that's solid pacing. So that's where I would bet that it's, how I would bet it's going to be paced at least, is that it's going to end with them walking out to the arena. Golananim said, I would simply love live reactions combined with reviews for the manga. I already love the concept because of Sun Wukong and Chibi's Tower of Tokyo Ghoul Re. I just see TG and immediately think Tower of God. Tokyo Ghoul Re reaction videos. So I'd like to see something like that from you. Thanks a ton. And yeah, I feel like for me, it's just that Boku no Hero Academia is a series where I don't need two separate videos to handle it. I can just put it all in one video. And then if I put it all in one video, it's like when I first wake up, I'll record both, and then I'll post the One Piece reaction as soon as I can. And then later that afternoon, I'll do the Boku no Hero Academia reaction and review all in one video. So that way you're not having to wait the extra day until Friday for the review. You're getting it all just in one video on Thursday. It saves me time splitting it into two videos, and saves you time waiting for it. Also, I kind of feel like I could start doing that with One Piece. I've thought many times in the past I could start doing that with One Piece. Because One Piece usually is something I don't need two videos for. Like, it's not like Tower of God or anything, where with Tower of God, I sometimes have like 20-minute reviews, or nearly 20-minute reviews, relatively often even, I would say, to the point where it's like, I need two videos, you know? I could not do all the stuff I do for the Tower of God chapter each week in one video. I need the extra day to work on the review. So I don't think I would need that with Boku no Hero Academia. So I think it works better this way. Then they also said, that'd be amazing. I always prefer live reactions over reviews, and making it one video is the best idea to me. When I'm hyped about something, I like seeing how other people react to it. Looking forward to your new beginning. Yeah, for me personally, it depends. It depends on the person, of course. It depends on the way they do it. But I generally prefer reactions for stuff like manga. Stuff like manga, I prefer reactions. And then for anime, I usually prefer reviews. Just because, and I'm not trying to, like, because there are good people that do reactions to anime that put out good videos that don't just steal content and stuff. There are people who do it well. But for every person that does it well, there's like 10 to 20 people that are just, I just don't enjoy. I don't enjoy anime reactions very much. Typically. I think though, even though like this season, even though I love Shingeki no Bahamut, I love Recreators and all that, I'm just not interested at all in really watching reactions and stuff to that. But Boku no Hero Academia, every week I've been watching reaction videos and reviews of it. I don't, like, that's the one series. I haven't even been doing it for Attack on Titan. I did for 1 or 2 episodes for Attack on Titan, but no, it's been Boku no Hero Academia. I think it's because, especially seeing the videos from people that haven't read the manga, I just think that's really enjoyable to me, seeing how they react. So yeah, I'd say that's the one series I've been watching reactions for. And I did watch reactions back during, I know there's one of you at least, because I've seen at least one of you talk about them, Queen Deja or Queen Daja, I don't know how to pronounce her name, I think it's Deja. But I watched her reactions when I was watching Kimono Friends, just because Kimono Friends is so good, I love Kimono Friends. But yeah, that's just some general stuff. Anime Watcher also said that, I've been waiting for you to see these Kirishima-centered chapters. You make me value Kirishima more as a character than I would have if I hadn't watched your videos. Thank you so much. It's always great. Well, I mean, I guess I don't hear it super often, but it's very great to hear that my videos impacted what somebody thought about something, or just impacted them at all. I think that's really, really pretty incredible. Don't really know how to word it much better than that. Like, I want to express how amazing that is, but I also don't want to sound like I'm just sucking you off, you know? But yeah, hold on. Getting back on topic. I think for me, I appreciate Kirishima. I've said a bunch he's my favorite character. I appreciate him a lot because I thought the writing was so genius. Just to have just these tiny small interactions between him and Bakugo throughout the beginning of the series, and you could just kind of ignore them. There's a ton of interactions between other characters like that you can just ignore. They're basic background interactions, but then arcs later, just chapters and chapters later, those tiny little interactions come back to play a major part in the story. I love that because, and it's such good writing, because it makes everything feel important. When you can say, oh, those tiny little interactions came to play a major part in the story, then it makes you look at every tiny reaction like, is that just a tiny reaction I can forget, or is that going to be something that comes back as a major part of the story? It really makes everything, like, he doesn't, like the writer, Horikoshi, whatever, doesn't even have to do that again. All you have to do is do that once, and now for the rest of the series, it has that feeling. It was just so good. Such a great idea when it comes to writing. Impresses me a lot. Then Darcy Forrester, lastly this week for Boku no Hero Academia, said, was looking forward to your reaction to these Kirishima chapters for a while now. Glad to see you seem to enjoy them. Quick note, the quirk-enhancing injections called Trigger, it's a central plot to the My Hero Academia spin-off manga series, Vigilante My Hero Academia Illegals. Now that you're catching up, you may want to give that a read, so you have the context. It's a relatively new monthly series, and it's lots of fun. I like how Horikoshi's weaving that narrative into this one. And that's really cool. I think I'm catching up this week, like I said, and then I guess next time I have time, maybe not the week after next week, just because of, like I said, beginning of the month, it's going to be busy and stuff. Maybe the week after that, just on my own time, I'll start doing read-through videos of that as well, and just catch up to that, because that's going to be something I don't have to cover it the day it comes out or anything. I'll just leisurely cover it. Whenever I have time to make my video on it, I'll make my video on it. But yeah, I could do videos on that as well, because it does interest me, the spin-off and all that. And that's it. Sorry if things got a little bit off topic, but that's it for Boku no Hero Academia this week. Next up are this week's Magical Girl Raising Project comments, all according to Maho Shoujo Ikse Keikaku. Starting off at the beginning, Andrea Zapita said, You made a quite nice guess for why the girls from Unmarked had their abilities, yet I'm interested to see your reactions when you get to know why certain characters had those appearances or powers. That goes for the girls of Restart also. My girl Petchka can make food with anything, so I guess she does need to think a bit about that, but for right now she's just too afraid to even think of something like that. Just you wait until she does make food. She's the best chef. Top Speed has a straightforward way of thinking, so that gives her even more reasons to have that power. For Cranberry, I guess it was because she sucked at music. I don't know either. Let's keep calling Fleur in the wrong ways just because her name is kind of lame. Then until you know the meaning but don't search for it. Noko-chan, the poor little cupcake's the best fighter ever with her cute little mop. Masked Wonder is one of the best characters ever. We need more characters like her. Lapis Lazoline's my baby. The detective girl is my favorite from Restart. Clandale's actually really cute. I won't say why, though. First off, I didn't search for it, but now I kind of want to. Also, that makes me wonder if Maverick Alpha's watching or anything. Also, Maverick Alpha, you told me once that you were Platfleece, right? Because I thought I saw that account name on Twitter one day, and I was like, why does that sound so familiar? But I'm pretty sure you told me that in the comments once. But no, that wasn't what I was planning to say. I was planning to say, how'd you... Because I get all the other, like with the Leonetta thing that I'll talk about later, I get how all the translations work. You would just translate it from kanji or hiragana, katakana, whatever it's in, depending on if it's foreign or not to Japanese. I get all the other... I get all the other translations of the names, especially like Cranberry, because katakana, they would be the same thing. But I don't get flat. I'm wondering what was it actual English or, well, what is it, Roman letters, I suppose? Or, like, yeah, how'd you end up with PFLE? I was just wondering how it was how it was in Japanese that it would end up that way. But either way, then yeah. What else? What else do I have to say? Oh, Marco Polo also said Clantail's really cute, and you say you won't say why, but I know you dirty animal girl part lovers. But I'm in the same boat. I think Clantail's best girl, so I guess I'm in the same boat. Dirty animal girl part lovers. Also, for me, what you said about Clanberry, I feel it's just my own little thing now. I like to imagine that whenever Clanberry was and I like saying Clanberry more than Cranberry now, just because it's such a I don't know, it's a lot more goofy and less. Like, I'm sure you know Cranberry is probably the proper translation. I think even in the anime end card it was Cranberry in English letters. But Clanberry is just really fun to say. But yeah, I like to imagine every time she was playing the violin or the piano or whatever that she just really, really sucked. She was really bad at it. And she just manipulated the sound to make it seem like she was good. I really, really like to believe that. Also, for me, after reading Chapter 3, Detective Girl for me is becoming one of my favorites as well. And by the time I'm recording this, I have not read Chapter 4 yet, so just throwing that out there as well. But yeah, like in Detective Girl, Dedic Bell. Andrew Zapita, of course, throwing the Lenny faces. We are dirty animal girl part lovers, and you know it. She's the best. Anime Lover 22ful said Swim Swim's power is deeper in the respect that since she's a liquid, she can fit through solid objects and copy their shape similar to what she was in the anime. She was easily manipulated due to her young age, and that her personality is basically based on Ruler's ideas. So yeah, I get that. That is true about her personality. For lack of a better term, she had kind of a liquid personality. She was very easily changed and manipulated, I guess, in a way. But I saw it brought up by somebody else recently as well. It was on I'll bring up where I saw it later. But, yeah, I saw it brought up by others recently as well, but I'm not sure how much you can blame on Ruler's ideas. Because Ruler would tell her stuff, but when you look at it, Swim Swim's actions, it's like she interpreted everything Ruler said in the most murdery, violent way possible. Like, say, Ruler said, don't let people know your real identity. And Swim Swim's like, yeah, my friend found out my real identity. Better kill her. And then, what is it? Ruler's like, there can't be two princesses. And she's like, there can't be two princesses. Better kill the other princess. Like, she took everything in the most murderous way. And the place I had seen it brought up was in the comments on a video of the scene where Nemorine is in her dream saying, you can be princess too, don't just be a liege, be a princess. Anybody can be a princess. And somebody brought up, she was like, I didn't think what Nemorine meant was go around murdering everyone. So, It is funny that she took that seemingly innocuous advice, and even in some cases good advice, and just turned it into murder. So I'm not sure how much you can really blame on their ideas and how much Swim Swim was just a really kind of crappy chick, even though she was a little kid. Deshaun Gamble said, I guess Masked Wonder died on 420 because she got stoned, lol. Damn it. Also, I like the mystery of this arc. Like Masked Wonder's murder, makes you question who killed her. It shows that someone in the cast is shady. Andrew Zapita said, don't forget the mysteries we get later on become even more interesting. Marco Polo said half 420. And yeah, more mysteries. No bully, dead wife, please. No bully. Also, I really love the mystery and investigation aspect a lot. I just think that really mental, thought-provoking stuff is just stuff I enjoy a lot. Like, even, this is a horrible example, a horrible comparison, but I loved the, for any of you that have played Assassin's Creed Unity, I loved the, murder solving there. I thought that was, possibly my favorite thing in the game, the thing I just really enjoyed the most. I thought that was really fun. So yeah, I guess, is that all? Yeah, I guess that's all I had to say. Also, it really makes me wonder, who I think killed Masked Wonder. It could be so many different people. Right now, my biggest suspect is that it's none of them that are currently in the game. Because, let's say I was the crazy master in charge of this game or whatever, and I wanted them to kill each other, or to not work together, what would be the best way to do it? kill one of them, and then none of them are the culprits, so none of them will ever be caught. There will never be any definitive end, and to the entire end, they're all not going to trust each other because they're all going to think that somebody's the murderer. So I think that's the most likely thing. Second place, I have no clue. I'm actually starting to think we saw Lapis Lazuli carrying around a blue stone. I doubt it would be her either, though. It really would make no sense for it to be her unless she's just playing you, but I guess she's my second place culprit, because I've come recently to think that it can't be Samurai Girl, or somebody said her name was Akane. It can't be her or Melville, I don't think, because Melville has a bunch of weapons, so why would she have smashed her head in with a rock? Same with Samurai Girl, she can, like, cut anything she sees. Why would she have smashed her head in with a rock instead of cut her? That makes no sense either. So yeah, I guess those are the ones I trust the least. Or it's not that I trust them the least, I think it's they... And it's not even that they have the most motive or anything, because they really don't, except for my number one guess being somebody outside the game. But as for Lapis Lazuli, it's like, she doesn't even have the motive. I don't think she'd be the type to do it. It's just that she has the means, I guess. I guess that would be why. Or the most reasonable means. Everyone there has the means. They could just pick up a rock. But she has the most reasonable means. Either way, Andrew Zapita said, quoted me saying, I'm not in a good mood for them dying, and said, son, you have a storm coming. John Gamble said, there's definitely a huge storm coming from this and all the other arcs. My soul's very much not prepared for all of that. Marco Polo said, Clantail finally claimed the throne. Best girl indeed. That tail bag. And, she is the best girl now, but you also have to admit that Masked Wonder kind of got forcibly removed from the title picture there. So, that is something to consider. Also, Andrew Zapita said, the hero of justice will always live on in our hearts. Victory pose. Then Andrew Zapita said, there was indeed an answer to that question of Genocyco's magic suit, and if it could survive a daisy beam. And Zero Ho 1 said, I don't think it was ever conclusive, though. And I brought up, I was like, would the world just explode around him from the contradiction? But Andrew Zapita explained that it was in one of the fan books, that the question was, what happens when Yamenashima takes a daisy beam when she's invincible? And the answer was, if Magical Daisy was a lewd anime, only the invisible suit would disappear, and she would be fully nude. However, Magical Daisy is not that kind of anime, so that won't happen. Wonderful. So basically nothing happens, and they cancel each other out. And I was like, that works. It makes perfect sense. They cancel each other out. But then I remembered, I was like, but wait, if they cancel each other out, that means the invincible suit protected from the daisy beam. So technically that means that the invincible suit wins. So Yamenashima versus daisy beam, Yamenashima wins. Also, I'm okay with that not happening, because poor Yamenashima does not need to be looted, so it is all fine. She has been through enough already, does not need to be looted. Unless, I don't know, she was kind of a perv, she may have wanted to be looted, but no, the Lewdening 2017 needs to slow down. No Lewdening. Deshaun Gamble said, my favorite scene this chapter was the whole scene with Flea investigating everybody's phones, as well as the fight with that Nyan Nakane, which is the samurai girl. Another scene in Restart I want to see animated. I was upset about what happened to Genocyco. She was my otaku waifu, and Akane did that to her because she thought she was Clanberry. The mystery of who killed Masked Wonder continues, and there are more mysteries to come. I look forward to your reactions, all of them, as well as your theories on them, since I already know the answers. And, well, I kind of already threw out a bunch of my theories on that, so have less to say here, I guess. But to talk about my favorite scene, I thought my favorite scene was just that whole meeting in general, because we saw the different characters. They took turns giving their information, their opinions, and I really liked it. It really fleshed them out and developed all their different standpoints and personalities and all. And to me, the two biggest things that I like most in a story, world building. I love a great setting. And number one, the characters. If everything else is lacking, but you have really, really good characters, that'll carry everything else. Characters are the most important thing. And like if you have everything else and everything else is really good and you have crappy characters, that'll ruin everything else. So characters are just the key for any sort of series, in my opinion. And also Fall, seeing the way that Fall was like, sort of, I don't want to be evil, I want to help you out here, but there's nothing I can do. Or like when one of them brought up, maybe the land of magic will find us and end this, and he's like, I'd be happy if it ended that way. So I thought there were a lot of good lines in there and stuff. Roos12389 said, I have a theory about Noko-chan's power. I think Noko-chan's power has a limit. She can transfer her emotions to one person at a time. When Samurai Girl killed Genosaiko, Nono-chan only transferred calmness to Atnyanyan. Why not both Samurai and Atnyanyan? I think she can't transfer her emotions to two or more people simultaneously. That would make sense, because we haven't seen her do that from my knowledge so far. So, yeah, that would make sense. Also, there's always the chance, like, say, Noko-chan was calm and used her power to pass the calmness onto Akane, but Akane was already like, she had decided, okay, I'm going to kill this person. Would that stop her? I mean, if she became calm but she had already decided to kill the person, then I mean, she would kill them anyway. I think the conviction would override the emotion, So that might be a weakness, really, to Noko-chan's power, is that conviction kind of might override emotion, if somebody had already decided to do something. Sorry, my throat just made a really weird noise when I inhaled there. Next up, and last up actually, a 3-part comment from Maverick Alpha. Piece of dust in my face. First up, they said, first part, my finals week is over, finally caught up. First off, a goof. This version of Chapter 2 was one of my old ones when I still used Leonetta. I thought I had already changed it to Rionetta because that name is more punny with Marionette. Fixing that soon. The other chapters should be good on that. I feel like the guy who hasn't got the joke this whole time finally being told the joke and being like, oh, I get it, that's hilarious. Because I was like, I thought that was so cool that Rionetta was a pun on Marionette. And this entire time, I had not realized that. So yeah. I didn't notice the pun at all. Then he said, secondly, the meeting is what made me absolutely fall in love with Restart, because I feel like the girls are trying to work together, whereas in the first arc I feel like everyone immediately was like, alright, who's next on my kill list? At least Swim Swim, Clanberry, and Mary were doing that. The town meeting where Flat urged people to check on their phones and working together to just complete the game is something that I liked, because in this situation, no one's really against each other except for the supposed spy, so it makes sense to just work together. And yes, thank you so much. I love that. I love that so much. I love that aspect of this arc a lot more than the first one, because when you have, I don't know, it's different when you have a game where they're meant to kill each other, like in the first one, or when they're not. When they're not specifically meant to kill each other, I think it's more dramatic when they're all working together to survive, but there's this outside force. It's like with the zombie series. If they're all working together, but this outside force being the zombies are killing them, it's much more dramatic. If they're all working together, but these NPCs are trying to kill them, to me that is more dramatic than if they're trying to kill each other. And also, when they're working together, it makes it so you can care about every single character a lot. Because with this, they're all contributing to good. Of course, there's a spy and all, but from what we know, they're all trying to work together, except for Akane, I guess, and they're all contributing to good, so it makes you care about them and their stories, whereas in the first series, because they were meant to kill each other, not everyone was going to be good, not everyone was going to contribute to the greater good, and that led to, like, Swim Swim, Calamity Mary, and the Peaky Angels, and very, very few people were upset at them dying. In my opinion, you'd have to be pretty invested in the character or pretty crazy to care about them dying, because they were really crappy people. Not that they were bad characters, they were just crappy people, And then the last part of his comment, he said, besides, I thought Detic Bell's detective-y stuff and the check your phones method was the smartest thing to do in the situation, and I enjoyed it, and I enjoy it when I read a book solve a situation, or see a character solve a situation by doing what is most logical and smart. I'm sure any real person in the situation would have done something similar to find the killer. And I love that so much as well. I love stories that are written where the characters' reactions and their plans seem smart and therefore realistic. To me, there's nothing worse than when there's a solution to a problem in a story and none of the characters, like, the solution's obvious, it's there staring them in the face, but none of the characters try it because it would solve it too easily. That was probably my biggest problem with ReZero, is it seemed like the easiest solution. The dude finds out that every time he dies he goes back to a certain point of time and he can relive it or whatever. Okay, whatever. But during all of that, the obvious solution would be to just tell everybody they're in a magical world. If they believe you, then your goal to stop these events from happening, you achieve it. You achieve your goal. And if they don't believe you, all you have to do is die and try something different. It's just such an obvious solution, and yet he goes through these really complicated plots like 20 times, dying again and again, and doesn't even try this really simple, more effective, possibly most effective solution. So yeah, it's just, that's what makes this part of Magical Girl Raising Project so good, is that it's realistic. It feels like the kind of decision an actual real person would make. And, well, like I said, that's our last comment for Magical Girl Raising Project. Next up, we will be moving along to One Piece. Alright, next up we got a couple of One Piece comments. First off, East1860 said, this episode only covered 8.5 pages. They haven't done something like this in forever. What I don't understand is, judging from the title of next week's episode, they will cover a full chapter there, which is chapter 830. Why not split it up differently so that this episode isn't quite so dragged out? And Caleb the Layer, don't know if they forgot the Essence Layer, but Caleb the Layer said they did this to start the next episode at the start of a chapter, but we already know the pacing will go to crap yet again. East1860 said, yeah, I get that, but I think they could have shown some of the scenes in the upcoming flashback right when Jinbei's about to tell his plan to the other fishmen, and then bam, to be continued. Either way, the episode wasn't that bad, so it's no big problem, I guess. Greetings from Germany. I see this all the time with places in Europe and South America. Like, people addressing people always say greetings from whatever country, and I'm like, that is just, I guess it's some sort of maybe cultural politeness thing, that it's so odd to me, because we have no semblance of that here in America. I have never once seen somebody greetings from America. Not once. So it's so odd how often I see that and all. Good odd. I think being polite is a very good thing. But it's such a cultural difference, I suppose. But yeah, to me, the pacing overall for this arc's been hit and miss, but I think the pacing in general, ever since the start of Zoe all the way until now, it's been pretty good in my opinion. Pretty good for something that's as long-running as One Piece. It's nothing as bad as, say, Bleach or Naruto. So, yeah. Like, and even when there are badly paced episodes, it's nowhere near as bad as late Dressrosa. And, like, I feel like I almost now appreciate Dressrosa being handled completely shit in the anime, because it makes me appreciate everything more in comparison. Every time I see an episode and I'm like, that was pretty bad, I think back to an episode, or I think back to as many episodes as I can in late Dressrosa, and I'm like, this episode wasn't that bad. Nothing near as bad as it could have been. So yeah, Dressrosa being bad makes me appreciate everything else more. Seek210, also bringing up the pacing, said, the episode did drag a bit more than the last few episodes, and the animation was down a bit too, but I still enjoyed the episode. We got to see a bit of Big Mom's power, as well as we got to see Jinbei save the day and the little cliffhanger at the end. And yeah, I still thought the episode was alright. I thought it was pretty good even. And for me even, I think the stuff with Luffy and his crew on the Thousand Sunny and all wasn't even that badly paced. I think it was just that one first scene. The first scene they showed, Big Mom rampaging, lasted all the way until like 14 to 16 minutes in. Maybe not that long, but I think it was around that long. it was a long-ass first sequence, and I was like, maybe they just should have split that up with more Luffy stuff, because that scene was way too long and slow. So really, I think that was the big part, is that half the episode was pretty much one scene. And having that come right after the long-ass intro that One Piece has every week that takes up like a sixth to a fourth of the episode already, that just, it hurts things. But yeah, that's actually it for One Piece this week. Next up, we got our Tower of God comment. No, that was bad. Next up, we have our Tower of God comments. I might even leave in that first part because of how bad that was. Damn. Just to show you how bad things can get. But either way, Tower of God comments. First up. Either way works. Future Guy 2045 said, I wonder if Rachel will use the ladle to get Hell Joe on her side, maybe as her new sword in place of in addition to Joaquin. Kuhn's thoughts of possibly using the ladle to get Hell Joe on their side makes me think that this might happen, but with Rachel instead of Bomb, since Bomb doesn't really need another OP teammate. True. Also, I don't think you can say either the Grand Family or Hell Joe is evil or the bad guy. They're just choosing or doing what they believe is the right thing. Also, I don't believe that Dali was choosing his family over the Savior when he was talking to Rachel. I believe that we'd have to have a scene with Bomb asking them to release the residents with the ladle to see really what they would do. And until then, I will withhold my judgment of them. Okay, me personally starting here. To me, I just don't trust the Grands at this point. I don't. Even if they were waiting for Bomb, even if they were, I think they oppressed people. They trapped them there. They put their souls in dolls if they disagreed with them. They forced people to work as guards. I do agree and think that Hell Joe was terrible to Haku and to Ai's mentor, but I can kind of understand that Hell Joe was trying to help others in a way. So I can find Joe more understandable. I find them both bad, but Joe is bad with a good reason. The Grands are bad with a less than good reason. Also, I think when it comes to joining, I think Joe could join either team if he leaves the Red Thrissa behind, because he'd be too OP if he didn't. And also, the Guardian of the Floor, or its child, should probably stay on the floor. But I think what would be even better than either of that, though, would be him keeping the Red Thrissa and becoming allies with Wall Hikesong / Yurik Mazano. I think that'd be even better. That'd be what I hope for at the end of this. Seek210 said, I did not think Rachel will actually sort of help out Kuhn at all. I thought she was just gonna go on her own and get the ladle, but it was interesting to show her argument with Dali about destiny and how wrong he is about what they've done. I also don't think she saw it coming either when Dali said that he was going to kill her. It's interesting to learn about the Grand Family and how they were given the ladle, and how with time they changed, and instead of helping, they sort of oppressed people too. And in a way, it also makes Hell Joe sort of be like an anti-hero, with him trying to get everyone to leave, though the means have gone wrong with time as well. I thought it was funny, that little bit with Yurik and Yuri where she smacked him in the head for charging knowing he can't use Shinsu either. I also like that it is going to be a bit of a team-up with Bomb and Yurik to beat Hell Joe, though I think Joe's going to do most of the job, and it's going to be Bomb just doing the dodging and helping him get closer to Joe, so we can just strike him. Also, he no longer has the bracelet, so it should be interesting. Man, I should have just let you answer the comment from before. That's exactly how I feel. I feel like pretty much the Grand Family they abused their power and they trapped and oppressed people, and Hell Joe is good. He has good intentions, but somewhere along the way the means have gone wrong with time. So yeah, I think that's really definitely how I feel. And about Rachel, I think it really shows a lot about her character if she's willing to help Kuhn, who she really does not like. If it means standing up to destiny, she is willing, just to stand up to destiny. Also, yeah, I feel like Hell Joe has done bad stuff, but I almost kind of feel sorry for him, knowing that he tried so hard to save everyone equally before resorting to this stuff, but people just wouldn't listen. So I'm not sure. Also, I agree about the Yurik and Bomb stuff. I think Bomb will probably carry him around, and Yurik will be jumping around off the Blue War throwing his super punches. And Bomb will just be the transport to get him in close. Which is fine. It allows Bomb to be part of things without making him seem OP and making him seem like he could stand in the ring with those two. Melissa Marquez said wasn't Beta in the lighthouse, and for those of you that didn't see, I addressed this in the review. But yeah, my first thought was I figure it wouldn't hurt him, it would just kick him out of it and make it so Kun couldn't use Endicor. But then when taking my notes, I noticed there was a panel of Dali during one of Rachel's speeches, or during Rachel's speech there was a panel of Dali, and Beta was in the background, and there was no movement line, so I couldn't really tell, but he's either climbing out of the wrecked lighthouse or climbing into a new lighthouse, I can't tell which. Climbing into a new one makes sense so that Kun, I mean, I guess it makes sense if Kun has multiple lighthouses capable of that. It makes sense so that he can keep using Endicor, or if he's just out now, it'll be good to see him in the flesh again, I think. So yeah, that would be it for that comment. Anime Watcher said, I feel like I just got red-pilled this chapter. There's so much I'd been thinking about Rachel. She's similar to Heljo and Wangnan. Like Heljo, she wants to escape her surroundings to go somewhere exciting like the stars. Her similarity to Wangnan is captivating others with her ambition. I know Uraha's the only one that followed Rachel because of her ambition, but considering what Rachel said about gathering more powerful people to suit her needs, I wouldn't be surprised if she managed to convince Enzahard to join her side. That's a bit much. Enzahard is crazy, crazy strong, but I get that they have sort of similar ambitions, I guess. And also, yeah, I feel like Rachel is always going to be an antagonist, always going to be a bad guy, but she's not going to be just evil. She's going to be a bad guy, but not just evil. She's going to have reasons. Whether they're good reasons or not is up to each person's own interpretation, because she's going to be a more complex character for that. And I think that's good, that she's not simply evil, but doing what she thinks she has to, even if she really doesn't. So, yeah, I think it's just good character work, really. Joe K said, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, said, great review as always, thank you for the video. I feel like next chapter is probably going to be one of my favorite chapters of the series. I'm putting all my hype for it. Yurik just can't disappoint me. Seriously, it's just awesome to see a character that was mentioned in the really, really, really early stages of the series finally here, and not just as a cameo. Also, it was hilarious to see the forums explode with threads and comments about Rachel this week. After all the hate for her, a good majority of the fans happily expressed she gets some loving. Can't wait for next week. Thank you so much for the comment and support watching and all. I feel like it will be a great week next week with the chapter. Especially, I think if we get some deeper relationship stuff between Yurik and Heljo and some flashbacks during the fight, I think that'll make it just add the emotion into the fight, make it even better. And CU does that usually with fights, so gonna be good. Also, I feel like the chapters like this one were great for Rachel, because like I just said, she is certainly still a bad person, but it shows that she's more complex than just that. Vanguard Royal said, love the reviews, man. It's crazy Karaka would have gotten beat so bad by Heljo. Yurik used 1% to crush Karaka. Yurik needs more than 5% for Heljo. Heljo would have killed Karaka. However, it's not Karaka's true body, so it's exciting that we don't really know his strength. Thank you a ton, once again. And yeah, I think that Yurik may just need more than 5% because he can't use Shinsu there. But I see Heljo as very, very strong either way. I think Yurik would have probably needed more than 5% either way. I view Heljo as probably one of the strongest characters we've seen so far. At least when he's on the floor of death and he can control the holes, he's got the red Thrissa. He's not as strong as Yurik, of course, but I think he's one of the strongest we've seen. I think Karaka's strong too, for the record. He just keeps running into people who are stronger, and while he's strong, he's not as strong as some others. Anime Watcher said, do you think we could ever see Zahard and the 10 family heads in a similar light, just like we see Heljo? I'm not sure, because it seems to me from everything we've heard before, like from the God of Guardians and all that, Zahard was a good guy at some point, and he just got corrupted by some kind of outside force. possibly the devils or whatever. But even that being the case, even if he was a good guy, the empire he's built has just done so many terrible things that I'm not sure we as fans will ever be able to forgive him. Some people might be able to, but I'm just not sure. Like, look at Reflejo's backstory, where he looked at some girl from one of the 10 families or whatever, and they sewed his eyes shut and killed his family, I think. Or Akraptor, where because he was a normal person and his wife was from the 10 families, they took his wife and daughter from him by force. Or Kaiser, with the story of her and the name hunt station and all, and them putting her at in like this fake test as a child, and when she failed it, taking everything away from her family and forcing her into this position. Like, all of those stories are just a few examples among many of the Zahard Empire just doing terrible, terrible things. And then lastly this week for Tower of God, Ilala211 said, "If the next few chapters are as good as I'm hoping, then I'm going to have a new favorite Tower of God arc. For me, Floor of Death already up there is one of my favorite arcs because of the bomb reveals and how good they were, and seeing Garam and all. But I'm not sure how I would compare it. I'd have to think about it a lot. How I'd compare it with Revolution Road, Name Hunt Station, and Dollar Show, which are another 3 of my favorite arcs. I would say those and Floor of Death would round out the top 4. But then again, there are other arcs I absolutely love, like The Crown Game, or say The Hand of Arlen. A lot of good arcs like that would be in the running as well. Just to name a few that I really enjoyed. Or The Praise. The Praise is so good. At least I believe it was called The Praise. That one was so good. Or The Untrustworthy Room was damn good too. And I think The Praise was just like the climax to The Untrustworthy Room. But damn, it's just... there are so many good storylines that have happened in Tower of God. And that's actually it this week for Tower of God comments. I hope you enjoyed them. And now, lastly, very, very at the end, are the Attack on Titan comments. Or the Attack on Titan comment. There is only one. Seek210 said, "I didn't really mind the flashback, but I think they just did it to reinforce the relationship between Mikasa, Armin, and Eren once again. But I did wish it was a bit shorter, and instead they'd show off more of Eren being captured by Reiner. In all this, I think it was more of a breather episode since we've had non-stop action since the beginning of the season. And yeah, I get why they didn't show Reiner and Eren personally, because I think that, or didn't show them much, because they're saving it for next episode, or the episode that came out today. But I still think if they would have did a little bit more, it might have saved last week or this week, whatever you would call it, that episode from being quite so boring, if there was just more there. And that's just another thing with Attack on Titan. There are really good episodes, really boring episodes, and it's the way it's always been. And yeah, that's actually it, my one comment. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, though it was late. I put my best into it, at least I tried, and my hair looks a mess, but whatever, ignore it. Either way, I hope you enjoyed the video. I really do. Like, if you did like the video, comment down there. Tell me what you thought of this week's HaQ&A. That doesn't work at all. Comment down there, tell me whatever you want. Anything you want to discuss based on what I said here, any responses, anything for next week, whatever, just bring it up and we'll talk about it. We can talk about any of those anime I mentioned earlier, like I said. Subscribe for everything here and a bunch more, like just a friggin' ton all the time. And, I almost said subscribe twice. Follow on Twitter if you want. I'll try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel. And I'll talk to you there about stuff too. And that's it. So thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.